Good morning, friends. We're in another field where we're moving water. We got a really nice grass alfalfa mix right here. It's real pretty. Got a little plantain there, but that's not much. I really like this field. It's just, a small little 4-acre bit. We kind of live in apple country. This isn't hayland. And I do have an orchard too, and I'll show you guys that sometime. But, we just lease these fields from people, and we just kind of try to keep the neighborhood green and get a little hay off of it in the meantime, which is cool. But the thing that bothers me about this place is right there. As you can see, we've got some fine, upstanding gentlemen that live next door. The variety of man that perhaps enjoys illicit substances just a bit too much. And it's really crazy. You think you'd be able to get rid of those guys, but I used to lease the hayfield that was on the other side of this place too. And like I said, in this town, well, I guess I didn't say that in this video, but I've said it in the past. In this town, ooh, look, the ladybug. You can see these little holes. It means we've got mites in here, but you got to spray that, and it's really expensive, and we're not going to do that, which, that's just part of life, man. But back to the illicit substance gentleman. So I used to lease the field on the other side there. You can see it over there. And these guys haven't had trash service in years. Years and years and years and years. And I could complain to the county because the trash piled up behind their house would float into my field. And, it's like, you sell somebody a bale of hay with tweaker trash in it, they're going to be really upset. But the county said, "I'm sorry, son. There's nothing we can do for you. An act of God put that trash in your hayfield." And I said, that's interesting because it seems like an act of Brandon put that trash in my hayfield. But, what are you going to do about it? But then they're like, well, you can put a complaint against him for having ugly garbage in his yard. And I'm like, okay, what happens if I do that? They're like, well, you get enough people look at that. If you get enough people to do it, then we can put fines against him. And I'm like, okay, what happens if he doesn't pay the fine? And they're like, if he doesn't pay the fine, we'll give him another fine. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is genius. And what happens if he doesn't pay that fine? He's like, you're not gonna believe this, but we'll give him more fines over the course of 3 years. And if he doesn't pay them, his house gets foreclosed upon. I'm like, okay, 3 years, let's do that. That's longer than I'd like. It's a kind of a right now problem, and it's out of control. But, at least 3 years. And they're like, well, technically, that house doesn't belong to him. It's in his mother's name. And I said, his mother has been dead for like 4 years. What are you talking about? They're like, well, yeah, that's correct. So the fines actually aren't going against him. They're going against his dead mom. So when she doesn't pay the fines because she's dead, then the fines will start going to him. And I'm like, so just to be clear, we can't fix that situation for 6 years. And they're like, that's correct. And I'm like, man, I'm so glad I pay taxes.